The voice of Jehovih spoke through God Neph, saying, because a new heaven is established, and because the old has been raised up, let signs be manifested, by which mortals and angels in later ages may know what has happened. Otherwise it shall come to pass, that mortals and angels will forget the flood and the purging of the earth. Consider now, O gods and goddesses, what shall be done. Vice God Elad spoke on behalf of the council, saying, what shall we do, O Jehovih? And Jehovih answered, saying, because I come near the earth in its early days, and farther off as it grows older, men will say, alas, the folly of the ancients. For I gave fear and faith as a heritage when men were weak in judgment, but with the growth of wisdom, I take away fear and the substance of things not proven to the judgment. Jehovih said, in Cosmin, men and angels shall ask for proofs. One will say, how is it possible to report the words spoken in the distant past? Another will say, how can the situation, be proven that the old heaven was taken away? Hear, my angels, therefore, the words of your Creator, and when one man or angel says, behold, in those days few men had the gift of words and speech, answer him, this man or angel, saying, yes, and heaven was the same way, because they did not have words, they could not be made to understand. And another man or angel shall say, the Creator rules in large matters, but not in the small, for he creates the universe, but does not trifle himself with causing a flood on some small planet, or, granting that, he may have made the world and made the flood to destroy the wicked, and yet he would not trifle himself with words and languages of mortals. And still another man or angel in the future shall say, because the familiar angels, also known as familiar spirits, come in Cosmin, so could they have come in the distant past. And as familiar spirits in Cosmin know little more than mortals and of heavenly matters, what they do in part is contradictory to one another. And with that being so, would not the angels manifesting to mortals in that bygone era also have manifested similarly? And since the angels in Cosmin came as familiar spirits with only enough power to prove their existence after death, then the angels in the time of the flood were no more powerful nor advanced. Thus, angels labor in small matters, but not in the large. But even if they could plant words into mortals regarding a flood, on the large scale of things, why would it matter? Why bother with trivia? And you, the knowledgeable angels of Jehovih, shall answer them, the unlearned of men and of angels, saying, who knows the plan of an earthquake, whether it is small or large before Jehovih? Is he not ever present? And do certain conditions not bring certain results? And they will answer, yes. Likewise, you knowledgeable angels of Jehovih shall say to them, the unlearned of men and of angels, give then a name to the highest cause beyond all research, and they will say, by the ancients this cause was called Jehovih. And they shall perceive they have entangled themselves in a net. For if the condition of ignorance on earth begot ignorance in heaven, how could the light of heaven come afterward to the earth except from above, from a higher heaven of enlightenment, which is to say, from Etheria? Since, then, the light of heaven came from above, who else could have invented the wisdom of a flood to come upon the speech of diverse nations? For mortals did not make up the story of the flood, because at the time of the flood, they had neither the speech nor knowledge, to make up the story of diverse nations undergoing a flood simultaneous to all. Indeed, if earth was covered with animal-like humans who spoke in grunts punctuated with an occasional simple word, how could they spread tales of a worldwide flood, much less give a reason for it? How would they even know about the diverse nations of earth? How much less, then, could they have perceived the wisdom of needing a flood? Neither could the report have come from the lower heavens of the time, for they were also filled with the dumb. Therefore knowledge of the flood was passed down to mortals by angels from a higher heaven. For how else would it be understandable that all nations under question would have this same explanation? Accordingly, to the unlearned of men and of angels, I, Jehovih, charge you, my knowledgeable angels, to give them, therefore, words in heaven and words on earth, pertaining to matters of this nature, like those concerning a worldwide flood, and to make these sounds sacred, so that the truthfulness of such ancient claims, shall be proven in Japheth, Shem, Ham, Gautama, and in the heavens belonging to these lands. And with that, the voice of Jehovih ceased. God Neph said, You are all wisdom, O Jehovih. Now I have a place for the new volunteers who came from Etheria. For this shall be their matter of volunteerism and business with the familiars who dwell with the barbarians. So, accordingly, they, the new volunteers, were allotted. And they were enjoined, yes, commissioned to sing to mortals the song of the flood. And they thus established its history, to endure forever on earth.